In the very core of Nigeria, beneath the blazing sun and amidst the swirl of faith, passion, and power, stands a man. Some call him a visionary, others a prophet, and still others whisper his name in awe. Bishop David Oyedepo, a man whose presence commands millions, whose teaching ignites fire in the hearts of believers, and whose wealth sparks controversy. But who is this man? How did he rise from the quiet streets of Umuaran to become one of Africa's most powerful religious figures? Born on September 27, 1954, in the small town of Umuaran in Kwara State, David Olaniyi Oyedepo didn't come from privilege. His father was a Muslim healer and his mother a devout Christian. You might call it a crossroad of faith, but destiny had a funny way of working things out. It was his grandmother, a woman of deep, unshakable faith, who sowed the seeds of Christianity into young David's soul. She taught him the act of prayer, the power of belief, and something tells me she had an inkling her grandson was destined for greatness. Architecture might have been his chosen career for a time, but even the greatest foundation couldn't contain the calling within him. By 1981, Oyedepo had a vision, and not just any vision. According to him, God appeared to him, liberates the world from all oppression through the preaching of faith. It sounds bold, doesn't it? But if there's one thing Oyedepo had never lacked, it's boldness. With nothing but vision in his heart and faith as his anchor, Oyedepo founded Winners Chapel in 1981. The start was humble, just a small congregation in Kaduna, but what started as a whisper of faith soon became a roaring flood. By 1999, that tiny congregation had exploded into what would become the Faith Tabernacle, the largest church auditorium in the world at the time. 50,000 seats, 50,000 souls, all hungry for faith, all drawn to this one man, this one mission. But Oyedepo didn't stop at the pulpit. No, his vision was far greater. Education, empowerment, legacy. In 2002, he established Covenant University, one of Nigeria's top institutions, a beacon of Christian values, academic excellence, and, let's face it, power. We are raising kings and queens, he says, and oh, has he raised them. But with great power comes great scrutiny. Oyedepo's teachings on prosperity, his wealth, the private jets, the luxury homes, the lavish lifestyle, none of it comes without criticism. They say he preaches a gospel of riches, but is that not faith in action? Sow your seed and keep the harvest, or is it something else entirely? Then there was that moment, the slap heard around the world. A young girl, a witch by Oyedepo's declaration, faced the wrath of his palm. The world erupted. Some cried out in outrage, but others said it was a hand of divine judgment. Oyedepo remained unbothered. Yet, through it all, controversy or not, Oyedepo's influence only grew. Today, his annual Shiloh gathering draws millions, both in person and online. His books, over 70 of them, still sells across continents. His words, and I quote, "Faith can move mountains," continue to ripple through churches, households, and boardrooms alike. And what of the future? His legacy is cemented. His children are primed to lead. David Oyedepo Jr., Isaac Oyedepo, both groomed to carry on the family empire. The Winners Chapel dynasty. A man of many titles, visionary, leader, billionaire, controversial figure, and yet he remains steadfast, unshaken. His mission, still the same as that day in 1981, liberates the world through the preaching of faith. Bishop David Oyedepo, a man driven by faith, followed by millions and undeterred by the storms of life. His story is far from over.